Alright, so once again I'm on the Appalachian Trail. I've done this section before. Actually done it twice. First time solo, second time with a friend. It's been over 5 years since I've last done it. Stayed at Thomas Knob Shelter, which is probably where I'm going to stay tonight. Depends on how things go. If I feel like starting back, I may start back tonight. If not, I'll probably do another trail I've not done before to come back in the morning, Lewis Fork Trail. It parallels the AT. I did a loop when I did it the first time using Pine Mountain Trail. It turned out to be 20 miles from where I stayed at Thomas Knob. But I parked at Fox Creek, which you could find it on the Far Out app, one of the road crossings on the Appalachian Trail. And I also hiked north from Fox Creek 3 years ago. 118 miles, that was the longest stretch I ever did. In 7 days. It's on the channel as one video. I think it was a longer video, about 42 minutes, because I had to squeeze in 7 days into that video, but that was one of my best trips ever. And it was rough. 118 miles in 7 days is tough on the body. I don't know if I could do that right now, but I do have a trip coming up, so that's why I'm doing all these trips, trying to squeeze in a trip every week. All right, I'm coming upon the first shelter. It's Old Orchard Shelter, right up there on the hill. Just wanted to show you that in Virginia they have bear boxes. I've shown you that before, but just for this video, in case you have never tuned into my other videos, they have bear boxes on the AT in Virginia. So that is a welcome sight, because they said that on the sign at the trailhead, it said that the bears have learned to get bear bags out of trees. So always store your stuff in the bear boxes when you're at the shelters where they're available. Another thing I neglected to mention, the second time I did this hike was with a friend in I think it was early March 2020. There was snow up at the Bald near Mount Rogers at Thomas Knob. So I camped in the snow. That was my first time ever camping in the snow in my tent. He stayed in the shelter with a group of other people. I'd stayed in the shelter my first time here, August of 2019, when I was solo. But the next day I continued on. He used Pine Mountain Trail, following my advice. He used his Garmin watch to navigate back using Pine Mountain, and I continued. Stayed night 2 at the Saunders shelter, and I continued on for another 5 days. That was my first big stretch on the AT, 116 miles in 7 days. And it's on the channel. That's why I started the channel, to document my AT trips. And I did it in 7 days, 7 parts. So you can check that out in the very early videos of the channel. All right, here's the Pine Mountain Trail gap. And I'll come down this trail in the morning. And I'm 3.5 miles in. Here's the first gate. Up ahead. So 9.5 more miles to Thomas Knob Shelter. There you go. I found a couple that are ripe on this bush. Check this out. I'll give you a 360. Love these balds, man. Southern Appalachian balds. So beautiful. Especially in the summertime when they're all grown up. All right, now I'm entering Little Wilson Creek Wilderness. I didn't realize it was 2 wilderness areas here in Jefferson National Forest. The trail has taken me down. I was at 5,000 feet. Now I'm at 4,300 feet, and I gotta climb back up to that ridge because Mount Rogers is at 5,700 feet. I'm gonna be camping nearby, so I'll be just below that. So anyway, that's what the AT does for you, up and down. Good times. Geez, that's beautiful. It is in a beautiful campsite here. Beautiful area, right by the Wilson Creek. Almost be tempted to spend the night here because there's no one else here for one thing. There might be people up where I'm going at the knob. I have the water right nearby. I always like being near the water. But it'll give me a little bit more miles in the morning. I do like camping on the bald. Just wanted to show that to you guys. It's freaking amazing. There's a fire pit there, and there's one over by the creek. There's a bear box by the creek. So it's definitely a designated campsite. That's a beautiful creek. Entering the shelter area. This is the Wise Shelter. It's a gorgeous area to pick as a campsite. But as you saw the sign, you have to camp in the shelter. There's no one else here, but I'm going to press on to Thomas Knob Shelter. Got another 5 miles to get there. It is beautiful here though. Surrounded by these flowers, these mountain laurels. And they are at peak bloom and they are gorgeous. Why the Far Out app is in disagreement with this sign. It says 3.6 miles to Thomas Knob Shelter, not 4.6. Anyway, this is a nice little spot here. All right, check this out. This is one of two springs, pipe springs coming up from the earth, and it's gated off, so it's protected from the ponies by the fact that it's coming from the earth and there's a gate. So it's pretty nice. About a mile away from the shelter. I may camp closer. I might decide once I get my water. All right, it's 9:03. The sun is set. It looked like some lightning in the distance there on those ridges all the way in the far background out there. I was hoping I'd catch it again. There it goes. It was more impressive before. Anyway, I'll pan out here, show you the view. All right, I'm eating in the kitchen. Water's ready. And I'm having breakfast for dinner because I accidentally opened it instead of my dinner. But come to find out, it's got 530 calories, which is more than the, where's the calories at? 460 calories in the chicken and mashed potatoes. And it actually weighs a little more too. That's 3.8 ounces. This is 4.3 ounces. But it doesn't have as much protein. It does have some peanut butter, which I squeezed into the oatmeal bag. So I'm gonna eat that for dinner. I like breakfast for dinner sometimes anyway. I'm eating away from where I camp, which I don't know if you could see it. I have my night light up by the tent. It's up that way. About 100 feet away or so. It's not 100 yards, 100 feet, give or take, if that. But it's far enough away for me to get the food smells away. There are a lot of people camping nearby and rowdy kids nearby. Somebody had a bear bag over here, look at that. The line's way up there. Anyway, I'm gonna eat this and then go to my tent, and I'll show you guys where that's set up here. It's not too far away, right here in the pine forest. Like I said, there are a lot of other people nearby. I would have camped at the shelter, but when I got there, there was a family of people there, and they were eating there, and I just decided to tent camp. It's more comfortable. All right, this is my tent site. There's my night light, and got the bear bag over there where I ate. So I'm gonna go to bed here. I'm not gonna bother with a fire. It's late. I'm tired. I think those kids finally went to bed. Oh, second thought, I just heard them. I might go out here to the bald though. See what the stars look like. That's those flashes of light, heat lightning or something. It's beautiful night sky though. Gorgeous. All right, good morning everybody. So I didn't sleep great, but I slept. Let's just put it that way. So I'm just having a PB&J for breakfast with my pre-workout. I don't know if you can make it out. Behind me, I'm all packed up. It's almost 6 o'clock. Ready to hit the trail. Gonna check out the sunrise over here at the Bald. All right, that's what I was afraid of. Morning fog obscuring the view. Because it would be a great sunrise from here. Oh well, you can't have it every time. So anyway, I'm hitting the trail again at close to 6:30. And like I said, I'm gonna take Crest Trail back. All right, here's your morning view. Because I had to get water down here again. This is the next Bald, a mile away from Thomas Knob. I would have camped here, but there's a lot more ponies and there's poo everywhere. All right, getting on the crest trail from the intersection here. That's where I came from. That's the AT up there. There's just a lot of convergence of trails here at Grayson Highlands. It's like every time you come to an intersection, there's like 5 trails. Passing some ponies. Got a little one. It's a bunch of them. More babies. Hey, little babies. All right, I'm taking the cliffside trail down. I connected to it via Crest Trail. It's only 0.6 of a mile. It'll reconnect with Lewis Fork Trail, and Lewis Fork will run right back into the Appalachian Trail at the old orchard shelter. So this is significantly cutting the mileage on the return trip. It is, however, very steep. Just have to watch your footing, and it looks like it's very seldom used, even though it is pretty well established. So if you want to come out here and do something like this, I just wanted to knock out some different trails that I've not done before, since I've been here 3 times and did the Pine Mountain Trail before. Reach the intersection with Lewis Fork Trail, you can make a right, and it'll be 0.2 of a mile longer, because I could make it a little shorter by taking Cliffside Trail, continuing on to wrap around back to Lewis Fork, and then cross the road at Virginia 603 and come back around to the trailhead from that side of the trail. But I'm just going to go this route because that Lewis Fork Trail is really rocky and really steep. All right, I made it back to the car, and none the worse for wear. Gotta say, it was a great trip. I always love this area. Even though it was my 3rd time here, I always have a great time. So it was about 20.25 miles on the Gaia app with over 3,000 feet of elevation gain. So I did shave off a considerable amount of miles coming back using those other trails. So if you want to come out here and do something, that's what I would recommend. It does make it easier because the AT winds up and over all the ridges. So anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.